All right. Let's see. I think
we're live now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Dr. Kiltz. We made it.
Good morning, all.
Technical difficulties.
We got Jonny does Carnivore today from Nashville, but he's from the UK. And so really great to have you here, brother.
Pleasure to be on.
It's good. We got Kiltz Mighty Tribe, we got Instagram, and we have YouTube, Facebook. Great. Let's see. What are we giving away today?
We're giving this away. That's why I'm wearing it. Oh, okay.
No, you got the hat. That's good.
Oh.
I just want to remind everyone of Kiltz Health Electrolytes.
And organ meat supplements.
Awesome. And we're going to be in, I'm going to be in San Diego this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at USA.
Yeah, Symposium for Metabolic Health. They go by both names.
Awesome.
And you're speaking on Saturday at 1:45.
Friday.
Oh my gosh, I keep messing it up.
Check again. Check that one again.
I will.
And date again.
I'll figure it out.
Christopher Ovard is here on Kiltz Mighty Tribe. Jody Jazdewiski, awesome. And if you hashtag KMT, I'm going to do the same. And if I get it, I choose someone on KMT. So that's right. The beauty. And Jonny, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into this crazy carnivore world.
I know, isn't it crazy? Well, what can I say? Well, thanks for having me on first and foremost. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I've been a big fan for a little while. Really what got me into this was I've been on a journey just to improve my health, really, both physical and mental health, I suppose. I'm 39 now, but I remember when I hit 30, I distinctively remember thinking to myself, I feel like I should be in my prime, and yet I was starting to put on a little bit of weight, not a lot, but a tiny bit. I remember feeling a bit tired, more tired than I should feel. I felt, and I started to have a bit of brain fog and a few aches and pains. And I just thought to myself, I'm 30, I'm not that old. Why am I starting to feel like this? And so naturally, I just explored diet a little bit, and I first cut out gluten, and I felt that helped a bit. And then I started to do a bit of intermittent fasting, which also helped. But it wasn't until I was on YouTube one day, and I just stumbled across a Dr. Anthony Chaffee video saying that he hadn't eaten carbs in 5 years, and he was feeling fantastic, tons of energy, and that this is the natural way of eating. And I just thought, wow, that's incredible. I've never heard anyone say they don't eat carbs. Was this guy for real? And then just that weekend, I remember I was going away for a weekend, and that weekend I just watched a ton of YouTube videos all about the carnivore diet from many different people's perspectives, all the usual characters, all the usual doctors and surgeons and advocates, and I also looked at debates and arguments about pros and cons and all the rest of it. But I got back Sunday night and I told my wife, I was like, this is like a mind-blowing weekend I've just been on. I was with the Navy. I was with I'm a reservist, so I was away with the Navy. So during the day I was doing that, and then in the evenings I was just researching carnivore. And I got back on Sunday night and I told the missus, I was like, this is like a huge psyops. We've all been told to eat the wrong thing and it's not right. And I'm going to, starting tomorrow, this was February 17th, 2024. I said, starting tomorrow, I'm going carnivore. This is the way, I'm sure. And because I was done trying these other options, and I tried to go semi-vegan almost.
That's Julia's birthday.
I said, yeah?
That is Julia's birthday.
And the next day I went carnivore and I haven't looked back, and it's just changed everything. And I used to have migraines as well, I forgot to mention. All the bloating, all the migraines, the brain fog, the low energy, the aches and pains, everything within 2 days just disappeared, and I felt supercharged ever since. Absolutely incredible.
Plants are the predators, and we're the prey.
Yeah.
Done. Right?
Yeah.
It's a simplicity. So tell us a little bit about Jonny Does Carnivore blogging. What inspired you to share the story online in social media instead of writing a scientific paper about it?
Yeah, good question. I just felt really excited. I just felt this surge of energy once I went carnivore, and I just felt I need to sing this from the rooftops. So I immediately got online, and I knew it's quite dominated by American voices, social media with the carnivore diet. But I did stumble across Coach Stephen, who you had on, I think, just last week, wasn't it? And so I don't know why, I just started messaging him. I was like, "Wow, this is incredible. Let's do a collaboration." Anyway, he's got like hundreds and thousands of people messaging him, so he didn't get back to me right away. But funnily enough, at the 1 year mark, I did do a collaboration with him. He went through my blog work, and it was fantastic. I uploaded that to my YouTube site, and then I did a second interview with him on his site. The reason I just felt compelled. I don't know. I'd never had a YouTube channel before. I just felt compelled to get on and spread the word. Because I honestly think, well, initially I thought we've all got to be on this diet. And then slowly but surely I've sort of gravitated a bit, my thinking to be like, well, I think this could be beneficial for many people, especially those with autoimmune issues like I had, or people who want to lose weight or whatever. So it's not necessarily for everybody, but I go to and fro between thinking it's for everyone and thinking it's for people who are suffering with the regular diet. I do think it's our ancestrally appropriate diet that we ideally should all be on, but people are coming from different places, so some need it more than others. I think we can all agree processed food and garbage like that should be out, but whether everyone needs to go full carnivore or not, that's for everyone to decide. But yeah, I just wanted to jump online. I wish I had done more videos up until this point, but I'm slowly finding the time to make videos. And
I am doing more videos to share the story around the globe for all humans, because are we all different, or are we really physiologically the same?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And so some people may choose what they eat, but ultimately plants are poisonous and meat is masterful. And do you have any particular cuts of meat you like to eat?
Yeah, ribeyes and sirloin, basically. That's me. Yeah, New York strip steaks. Was there some? Is that mincemeat they got ground beef on
tomahawk, ribeye, and hamburger or mincemeat, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Right. This it's one or the other. Snake River Farm, Bighorn Mountain. Bighorn Mountain's one of my favorite. Snake River Farm is one of my favorite. But I'm sure wherever you're at in this world, there's a favorite for each and every one of us. But what poisons are in meat?
Zero.
And ultimately, we're all brainwashed, like you said, and the simplicity. But going carnivore makes you want to tell the world, right, Dr. Nelson?
Yes.
Definitely. You're making me hungry by showing that.
Well, what I do is I take a frozen, this is 1.295 pounds. I take this, I put it right in the air fryer.
He's like calling me.
9 to 10 minutes on each side, and it comes out nice outer, sort of crispy, inside raw. It is like the best.
Yeah, I do something similar. Like that's the Michaela Peterson advice, right? Do you do that with steaks too in the air fryer?
One of my steaks I do under the broiler. It's black and blue or raw. Black and blue or raw is the Kilt's way. And ultimately, you got to eat the fat. Most people overcook their meat and they don't eat fat. They eat rendered fat, which is essentially grease, which is not healthy for us.
No. I'm curious, does Mrs. Jonny do carnivore? Does your wife do carnivore?
What? Say that again. Sorry.
Does your wife do carnivore?
Oh, she's come on and off it. Yeah, she's I'd say she's animal based, but she keeps slipping on and off. We'll get there eventually.
Whoa. This term animal based, you're plant based or animal based, or you're both, correct?
You're an herbivore, omnivore, or carnivore?
Carnivore. So we use these phrases that someone made up, but ultimately animal based means you eat animals. Plant based, you eat plants, or you eat both, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise people don't know English what that means.
Yeah. She's probably, I'd say she's keto, she's
okay.
She keeps the carbs below like 100 grams or whatever. But I'm trying to always gravitate her more towards the carnivore side of things, but she's hooked on various spices and sauces and and fizzy drinks, and so we're not quite there yet, but we'll keep
that's
at
okay.
it.
Obviously we're all where we're at the moment, and we're choosing where we're at and what we're doing, and ultimately each their own. I agree with that. So I had migraines, I had arthritis, psoriasis, kidney stones, bowel bleeding, bladder bleeding, anemia, depression, anxiety. And I had all these things for years. As a kid, I couldn't read. I was ADHD, OCD, go at it. And ultimately, the modern medical system, Dr. Nelson, as you and I are taught, the cause of disease is what?
The mysteries of life.
I don't know, right? And idiopathic, which I always say we're idiots, right? So it's kind of interesting. So someone asked on Instagram, why is rendered fat not good? Because when you cook it, you denature it and you damage the molecular structure that nature created. Look at Pottinger's cats for more information. But ultimately, what other organism cooks their food?
Yeah, good point.
Firefly? I don't know. What's the most miraculous thing you think you've discovered on this journey, Jonny?
Oh, so much, I think, weird things as well. I had an irregular heartbeat for 38 years of my life, and it's just normalized. That's pretty weird. Just having mental clarity, the ability to think clearly, have that brain fog lifted before my eyes within a few days, that was just incredible as well. Just so many aspects, but then when you think about it, it just all makes so much sense that once you remove all the toxins and all this unnatural stuff that we're putting in our bodies, of course you're going to go back to being healthy. Our natural state is a healthy state. Like lions in the wild are healthy unless you mess with their diet. Any species, take any species you want, they're all going to be healthy, they're all going to be disease free, unless you play around with their diet and start manipulating it and denaturing it, like you say. And so it seems so obvious. I also remember, I think, listening when I was doing the intermittent fasting, I remember listening to the nutritionists say things like, yeah, now you're burning fat for fuel. And when you want to break the fast, you want to maybe have a protein meal or just protein and just fat meal straight after, so that you don't start storing the fat and then have your carbs later on. And I just, at the time, I remember thinking, okay, yeah, sure. But now I think, why the hell, why are you adding the carbs back in at all? And why not just stay on just protein and fats? And why not always be intermittent fasting like we are now? We're always burning fat for fuel. But it just never occurs to you because you like you said earlier, we're conditioned to believe that we need carbs for fuel. That's our energy source, and it's just all BS, isn't it? So, you know.
Well,
Amazing.
ultimately, you do not burn protein. You do not burn sugars. You only utilize the adipose tissue. And we don't eat carbs, proteins. We eat animals or plants. That's really the simplicity to the story. That's all. We eat animals or plant products, or if you want to eat like grasshoppers, right? And so what other animal says, hey, did you get your protein today?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
And where did we get the idea that protein is more important? Because every cell of every organism contains sugars, fats, and amino acids. How do you know which one's the one that's the most important thing to eat? Someone told us, who, like a nutritionist, right? A scientist. I even question the science of carnivore and keto. Like, who decided how much protein content you need in a day?
Good question.
I'm always
And
curious about macros.
Where do you get? I'm sorry, Ali. Go ahead.
I'm just always curious about the macros, like 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight, 1 gram of fat. And how do you even calculate that? Every app tells you something different. So I think you're onto something, Dr. Kills.
Why are blue zones so talked about? Mediterranean diet shows facts of longevity. Well, those are stories people tell, don't they? People write about it. And actually, the blue zone is a trademark phrase that someone went around the world claiming one thing, but it may not be as true as people say.
A lot of fraudulent results in those books and information, because and you can find detractors of the Blue Zones books. There are many claims that are not substantiated.
Yeah. I just always think as well, like to figure out our ideal diet, you just got to look at what we've eaten for since eternity. Just like you would, you have like you pick any animal in the wild, the most appropriate diet for them is the one that they've been eating the longest. So if you just look at history and to see what we've eaten for the longest period of our existence, therefore, as a process of evolution and adaptation, that is what we should be sticking at. That is what we should continue to eat. And the fact that we've radically changed our diet, not just in the 10,000 years since the agricultural revolution, but especially in the last 100 years, where we've all gone mad and made processed food our like staple in our diet, it's just so obvious that we're eating the wrong thing, and we shouldn't get all these diseases. So yeah, well, it always comes back to what is our ancestrally appropriate diet. Now we can't know for sure, but those isotopes are fairly clear that like it was mainly meat and fat, at least for 80% of our diet for at least 300,000 years as Homo sapiens, and even before that.
Although whatever the story is, it's a story, and I don't know what we ate 10, 50, 100,000 years ago either, but I can tell you, if I eat only animal products, I feel healthier. And if I go on a 15-day fast, or like Dr. Nelson did, a 22-day fast, and went to work, did his normal activities, felt great, and ultimately is getting fat pathologic or physiologic, and your brain is not dumb, it wants you to be fat. Any thoughts on that, Johnny?
That your brain wants you to like put on fat, you mean?
100%. Because think about it. The food in your gut is not the food for your cells, it's the fat on your body. And if you don't have fat on your body, you're dead. And
Yeah.
go find food today. There's no markets, there's no agriculture, nobody is providing and packaging food for you. Where are you going to get your food?
Yeah, I always, yeah, I agree. That's like it's our survival mechanism, isn't it? I'm always amazed at how much fat I can eat and not put on weight, and how it always tastes great.
Well, you can eat only fat and get fat.
Yeah,
Bears do it, polar bears do it, ring seals are their fuel food. And ultimately, there are plenty of carnivores that are labeled overweight. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah,
And not everyone. I mean, what animal says, "Hey, you really should get skinny"?
yeah, yeah,
Why? Why would anyone want to be skinny when food is hard to find?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I suppose when
Go
yeah.
ahead. Sorry about that.
It's an interesting one because I remember my brother and I growing up. I remember him because I was like the skinnier one and he was the slightly chubbier one. He always used to say to me, "Yeah, but at least I will survive longer than you if there's like a famine or something." That was
Well, he
his
was right.
joke,
He was right.
and he wasn't wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
however,
Since finding Carnivore, so yeah, at the time when he said that, I thought to myself, that's weird because if you're fat, if you're overweight, surely you're putting yourself at a physiological disadvantage in terms of survival of the fittest. You can't run as fast, catch your prey, or run from a predator, etc. And now that I'm carnivore, I realize that to a degree, you want to put on a bit of fat for survival, maybe in the winter months, whatever. But ultimately, you want to stay lean and fit and strong. And so you don't want to store too much fat, which is why eating carbs doesn't make a huge amount of sense because then your Randall cycle flicks over and you start storing fat.
Nah, Randall cycle. I love Bart,
No,
my
you don't buy
best
that.
friend. I just
Yeah,
think so people don't eat carbs, they eat plants or animals.
yeah,
That's it. Now, Europe, let's just take Europe or the Americas. How often has there been war in the last 1,000 years?
yeah, but pretty steadily there has been there.
Is there war in Europe right now?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Okay, so is there starvation from war around the world right now?
Yeah.
Gaza, Sudan, okay, and many other places. And so ultimately, your brain is smarter than you are. I mean, because in general, the world's trying to be skinny, but it ain't working, is it? And maybe we live in a stressful world and the brain is smarter than we are, and it's going to work hard because, I mean, a bomb can be blast all around the globe anytime, right? And so I'm just, again, as smart as we are in our scientific beliefs, even in the science, being skinny is smart because when was the last time you ran down a prey or had to run away from a tiger?
Yeah, fortunately, never.
Because we're herd animals in a sense. And so we work well in packs. That's our survival, not running after or away from a predator. Yeah. Again, I'm just throwing some ideas out there just for conversation.
Yeah.
Please feel free to question me, Dr. Nelson.
I think we got some questions, by the way.
Yeah, let's throw them out there.
You already answered this question today, but why is rendered fat grease not good for us, but solid fat good for us? Never heard anyone say that.
Well, raw fat from the animal is healthy, but rendered fat or pasteurized fat may not be as good for us, and it may be harmful. And if you look at Pottinger's cats, study by Pottinger on feeding cats raw meat, cooked meat, raw milk, or pasteurized milk, the animals fed, the cooked or pasteurized, were harmed, and their subsequent generations harmed. And so ultimately, you gotta wonder, like if you took all the wood to build your home and you first threw it in the fire and burned it and then built your house with it, would it be strong or weak? So
A lot to think about.
Right. And so ultimately, the real food from nature. I mean, did we wait for the cook, the chef, before we ate? I don't know.
We're all waiting for the air fryer. Okay, Mick, to lose fat, should you eat lean meat?
Well, Dr. Nelson, you want to comment on that maybe?
To lose fat, should you eat lean meat?
Well, there's certainly a lot of people that have lost weight eating fatty meat. So I don't know if there's an absolute answer. If you carry extra fat in your body, you may be able for a period of time to survive on lean meat and perhaps even lose weight on lean meat. The total amount of food that you eat is important. So I don't like to say that the calories in, calories out. It's a flawed subject. It's a flawed idea. But at the end of the day, it may, if you eat too much and you really are not spending it all, your body's gonna store it.
Well,
So decreasing the total amount that you eat might be something to do. I don't know that it has to be always going leaner in terms of the fat and the proteins.
Leaner meat for the same volume, grams, weight, is lower calorically because the fat stores more calories, more energy than in the lean meat. Like our good friend Maria Emmerich talks about protein sparing modified fasting. If you want, remember, you don't lose muscle, bone, brains, or organs. You use the fat on your body. So you either, again, it's up and down on the weight. Because if you actually do an MRI or CT on every human, the bone structure is the same, the muscle and organ structure is the same. The one difference is fat storage. And zero fat storage is usually you're in a grave and you're dead. And if you have too low fat storage, you can't reproduce. You're also dead. And so, yes, a leaner meat diet, again, animals versus plants, is going to be lower calorically. And so move more, eat less is really the formula. And if you're not losing weight and you want to lose weight and become body shape, whatever you want, you got to do the work. It's not easy.
Yeah. All right. Next question is Alvin says, love how he questions you to put you at a position of critical thinking. That's yours. Not a question, but yeah, critical thinking.
Yes, I mean, ultimately, we have to question everything, all science, all of it. We have to question because remember, in general, scientific reports are for someone to become famous, published, profitable, and that's kind of the trick here is that like what other animal has to know the science to understand their health and wellness?
Yeah. It's such a good point. It really is. Well, I've got a question here.
Yeah.
What are your favorite drinks? For me, I just stick to water. As boring as that may sound, just like eating steaks every day, I find they taste fantastic. But drinking a glass of water every day also just tastes fantastic. I don't need anything else. I don't crave anything else. It's all you need.
Great.
Yeah.
Go projects and repairs. Eating rendered fat, say from brisket, has to be better than a Twinkie. Yes, it's better than a Twinkie.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
And I think when Dr. Kiltz, he definitely likes to question everything and puts you to think. But even if you have cooked your meat and rendered the fat, that's going to be healthier than eating a bunch of plants.
Protein and sugars. So amino acids, proteins broken down amino acids, glycans, complex sugars are broken down to 9 simple sugars in the human body. They all go to the liver and via insulin, they're converted mostly to fat. When you eat fat, it goes to lymphatics. It's actually distributed to every cell of the body through a chylomicron, which is like a VLDL, LDL, HDL, which are the delivery trucks of amino acids, simple sugars, fatty acids, and minerals and vitamins. And so ultimately, there's this movement and delivery of stuff from the adipose tissue. So when you don't eat for a month, almost Dr. Nelson, correct?
Yeah.
Was your body eating your muscles, your organs, your brain, or was it had plenty of fat and needed nothing else in the adipose tissue?
It was feeding off the fat, yes.
Which adipose tissue contains minerals, vitamins, amino acids, simple sugars, and fatty acids. It contains all the glycans, the amino acids, and the fat required for the energy and building blocks of every cell of your body. Even if you don't eat, you can gestate and build a baby built off of your adipose tissue. That's all.
It's true.
That's why adipose tissue is the most important tissue of your body.
That's right. I keep saying I lost all that weight in my second pregnancy because it was so hard to eat. Baby came out perfect. I lost 40 pounds. So, but I had the adipose tissue, and the baby was
which
7 now.
Is not the cause of disease.
Right.
It's because you didn't get better. We get better not because we lose weight. We get better because we stop eating plants.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Agree.
Plants are trying to kill you.
Plants.
One of the first lectures I watched.
They don't want to kill you right away. They want to control you first, right?
Yeah. They want to survive, and so they want to eliminate the numbers of other species that are trying to render them extinct. I mean, it just makes so much sense. But when you put it like that, they want to poison you, perhaps, or they want to make you a little bit sick so that you don't risk going extinct.
God is the master of all our bodies, is one of his greatest masterpieces because he's us. So simple. Yeah. Next question, comment.
We network. My worst fear is that foods are going to continue to create these hangry brains, starved people for us to deal with. They're almost like zombies if you think about it with their addictions and brain fog.
I mean, the truth is you can eat plants. You can eat animals. You just need to prepare the plants in a way that they're less toxic and add more fat. I think Meat 3 Times a Day by Schlink is a really good book. Most people don't eat rare to raw fatty meat. You eat rare to raw fatty meat, you'll be healthier than you know, even if you eat some plants. And if you eat less frequently, more fasting, you'll also be healthier. So if you choose not to go carnivore, but you're in the keto world, fatty meat, salt water, cook the plants well, and eat less frequently. Do you do any fasting, Jonny?
No, I don't typically. I mean, I do skip breakfast. I go straight to lunch. But other than that, I don't do like day-long fasts. I'm curious. I probably will get into it eventually. I can definitely see there's huge benefits. My wife, funnily enough, even though she's not gone on the full carnivore diet, she's done fasting, and she's done fasting for like a week at a time, and she's found it to be really beneficial. So I know the evidence is there that, and like yourselves have done it, and I just haven't yet.
How many times a day do you eat?
At the moment, I'm eating 3 meals a day. I'm trying to bulk up and put on some muscle. So I had a call with Richard Smith, Coach Stephen's colleague, and he said, let's eat about a kilo of fatty red meat per day. Or sometimes I throw in some fish or some liver as well, just for good measure. And then he says the best time is to maybe work out at 9 in the morning, and then I forget what he calls it, but he basically says every 4 hours eat like a meal. So like for me, that's like 360 grams. So like I do noon, 4, and 8 at the moment. But usually back before I was trying to do this specific workout regime, I was just eating whenever I wanted, whenever I was hungry. And as you know, on this diet, it's just so easy. You get full, you get all your nutrients, your body's happy, hunger signals turn off, and you go again when you're hungry again. Dr. Kills is doing some squats or some
One meal a day.
Is that what you recommend? Yeah.
It's the very best way.
Okay.
And just lift the weights, do the movement.
Yeah.
Again, we've made it a complicated story, but in truth is, that's my 2 cents. Fatty, rare to raw meat, 1 time a day is the healthiest thing for all of humanity. And you want to bulk up, do the weights.
Yeah,
do, right. Again, I just think there's got to be a simplicity to it. This idea that, and
mTOR activation, that's what he calls it. So obviously he's getting into very technical things, but I would agree, like we're just trying to pull at some various levers and maximize this and that. But yeah, ultimately I would agree, eat when you're hungry and stop when it stops tasting good.
By the way, hamburger you can get very cheap. You can also get lamb, pork, goat. And when you eat a plant-based diet, you get sicker. You need doctors, drugs, dissections. It's more expensive. Your body, why would you put cheap fuel in it and harmful stuff? But someone commented, Jay Tothes, let's not forget carnivore everything costs money. But this is still the healthiest, and eggs and beef. Get a whole cow. You could actually buy the cow and sell the primal cuts and keep all the less expensive cuts, and you'll be healthier than you ever known. But money grows on trees. Money is a stream of infinite creativity, but it's not. It's the energy of work. Go to work every day. Enjoy the work. Go online. Share what you're doing. Next,
Goldie Goats wants to know if she should stop rendering the fat to make tallow, based on all the conversation earlier. I'm saying render the fat, make the tallow.
Yeah, tallow, all that stuff is great for your skin, but ultimately eat the rare to raw fatty meat. That's the best thing to eat. Why some say 1 meal a day is not good for women?
Because science.
And we've gotten healthier since science has become the main component. Everyone wants to know the science and we're healthier because we know it?
Yes.
No. The cost of healthcare is like been driven up because of scientific discoveries, drugs, dissections, and you got to listen to your nutritionist.
Yeah. I'm curious, Dr. Kills, like fertility rates 50 years ago was a lot different than right now. And we had a completely different way we were eating 50 years ago.
Well, I don't know
Less
about that
fertility?
because I was eating a shitty diet 50 years ago,
Yeah.
but they're eating a shitty, sorry for my language.
It's
The
okay.
diet we eat today is more plant-based and less fat than ever before, but I was sick 50 years ago. I'm 70 soon, and
Right.
all good. It's all part of the journey, by the way. And so what we're doing is back at the Civil War time, James Henry Salisbury basically said, hey, my men are dying of dysentery and pneumonia. Put them on a meat diet and they healed.
Yeah.
It's not new stuff.
Yeah.
This one's for Jonny. I know we talked about this, but I think Papa Carnivore wasn't here when you answered this. But does your wife see your health improvements, and will she ever try it for 30 days?
Yeah, so she's done it twice now for about 30 days, and just at the end she just kind of slipped off. And I have my theory is that, you know, all these chemicals we put in our bodies, well, not us, but those who eat processed foods, I think they really change your neurological pathways, and they get you hooked and they get you addicted, and they change your taste buds. And I think it takes a good month, maybe 2 months, maybe even 3 months for some, just to get off that addiction train and normalize your taste buds and your brain signals and all those things. And I just think she hasn't quite reached that point at which she like loses that sweet tooth. So she's got close, and she definitely has had the health benefits. She would lose like on average a pound a day. And she would feel more energetic, and she knows she needs to do it sooner rather than later. But no, she hasn't quite been able to stick to it, and I think that's the reason why. But she's definitely seen the benefits with me. I mean,
as a heroin addict, plant addict, in a heroin den, just like the English, they addicted the Chinese on heroin because it was forced there, and so our world is forced with all this stuff. So ultimately, it's not easy. It's hard, but what you're saying is the discernment is amazing, right?
Yeah, and I think as well for me, I work in the government, but I have a work from home role where I journey out to meet businesses and advise them about finance for their exports. So I can live a fairly independent lifestyle in terms of what I eat and what I cook and what I take with me. For her role is based all around social interactions with clients, and a lot of those are dinners and meals out because she's in sales. And so I think that adds another layer of complexity and difficulty, which, like you say, she's just food is entertainment in this world. So it's so it becomes a bit awkward, but yeah, I keep the faith. I think we'll get there with her.
And we're all working and living in a world of lots of diversity. And so, I think it depends where you're at and what you're thinking, but I'd say that a fatty meat diet, eating less frequently and adding and cooking the plants well will minimize the damage. Here's a question from Carnivorous Yuki. 13 months on carnivore diet. My cholesterol skyrocketing. LDL 440, HDL 85, TG 46. Should I worry about hypercholesterolemia, Dr. Nelson?
No, and who's asking? Is the person asking by any chance a member of our course right now? Because tomorrow we're going to talk about that.
So, and we're going to create a course where people can hop on at any time. It's coming up. so that you can just start here and go wherever you want. But I mean, ultimately, your body, what does your body make that's poisonous? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right, here we go. The spicy sausage for €5. Dr. Kiltz, what changes to menstrual bleeding are okay when transitioning to carnivore? Is it normal to have heavier bleeds with PCOS transitioning?
Everything's normal. Everything's normal. You're transitioning. You're going from abnormal to normal. You're going to transition through some hard shit. That's normal, right?
Yes, it's a hardship. Hardship.
Hard shift, which is so again, PCOS, endometriosis, endometritis, vaginitis, cervicitis, cervical cancer, uterine cancers, tubal damage, infertility is all secondary to inflammation and infection in the colon mostly and the small bowel that basically transitions everywhere in our bodies and infects us. That's why you ever notice that fat and butter doesn't mold? Fat is anti-inflammatory, but it's raw fat that's the best fat, unrendered.
There we go. Here's the next question. Terry P. Carnivore 2 years, inflammation gone, take no meds. Now I'd like to see some weight loss. Done different fasts, but do you think I should just continue eating versus doing fasts?
Dr. Nell, I mean, fasting is one of the best things. I lose a pound a day. I went 15 days. I actually lost 10 pounds, but I drank a lot of water and electrolytes. And when you drink a lot of water, you also gain the weight of the water. And that's not a bad thing. Again, how do you feel? And if you want to lose weight, leaner meat, go do more movement, more resistance work, for sure.
Great. Now, Jen from Facebook, Jen Yanira Sedlak is asking, when eating carnivore, do you need to add to the diet prebiotic fiber or fermented foods? I heard that it's beneficial to eat those two when eating meats.
Jonny, what's your thoughts?
I don't actually have too many thoughts on that because I'm not an expert, and I'll let you guys answer. But I did hear Robert F. Kennedy yesterday just say, which was cool to hear. He said he was asked in an interview, like, what is your diet basically? And he was like, it's basically carnivore, but I throw in some fermented vegetables. I think he mentioned yogurt as well. Like, I just thought that was great. Wasn't that great to hear carnivore spoken about at that level on TV live from a prominent figure? But no, you guys answer that question because I can't really answer it.
You can answer. Everyone has their opinion in life. Just because, you know what I've learned, this idea that we're messed up because of science and doctors.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, what microbe is good inside your bloodstream or your organ systems?
Yeah.
Why would you add microbes to your gut?
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. You can eat fermented foods because fermented foods are less toxic than non-fermented foods. But do we require them? Not one bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fiber in particular, there's no requirement.
It's deadly.
So do you need to add that? So if you can add it, it's not going to hurt you. You can add it because you can do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, whether that's the best thing for you or not. And again, the fermented food, like he said, it's probably healthier. If you insist eating plants, it's probably healthier, very well cooked or fermented, preserved. You eliminate some, maybe not all of the toxins, but some of the toxins.
Yeah.
And there's less fermentation happening in your gut.
Yeah.
when you eat fatty meat. But remember, lean meat is fermentable, plants are fermentable, and fat is not fermentable. And fat contains all the minerals, vitamins, and building blocks of our body, and fiber. And I think, let's see, Paul Mason did a talk on fiber, and basically, I mean, fiber, I think, why would you put something non-digestible or poorly digestible in your gut?
Yeah, exactly. I suppose the question, you could answer it like this: if that person needs a degree of variety in order to stay on the carnivore diet, then go ahead. That's the least worst option, to add some fermented food versus, regular plants. But ideally, you want to gravitate from what they're doing to just the
Variety,
meat.
right?
Yeah,
Variety.
there is. People always think, oh, there's no variety on the carnivore diet. There is tons. You know how many different ways you can cook your eggs, or you can have lamb chops, you can have fish, so many different types of fish. It never ceases to amaze me how varied I think my diet is, and how the tastes change, the textures. Air fryer steak, like you were saying, or minced meat, you get the crispy. I do beef jerky, my homemade beef jerky. It's great. There's so much variety.
Yeah, huge. But
Huge.
are you married, Johnny?
Yeah.
Do you have girlfriends on the side?
No,
That's
I don't have that
variety.
much variety.
Why do we need variety? What other animal looks for variety? None.
Yeah,
Variety is deadly.
You don't need variety in your diet. Have variety in every other aspect of your life.
Well,
except the marriage.
Yeah, except the
tell you,
marriage.
variety is deadly. Narrow as an arrow. That's where I think this idea of variety is part of our problem. It's sort of like, oh, I need variety. Well, why? No, you don't. I get up at the same time. I do the same work. I eat the same foods, and I read the same books.
Yeah, routine is pretty good.
You mentioned a little while ago that you only drink water, for example.
Yeah.
Because you have found it. I'm assuming because you have found that's the healthiest thing for you to do, rather than this, because everything else is artificial.
Yeah.
Even if you think it's a natural liquid, it's artificially made.
Yeah.
So you don't need the variety of drinking different things.
Yeah, very true.
No other animal needs that. We've been. Again, it's part of the marketing message. You need variety. You need variety. You need variety.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, what other organism is saying, oh, gee, another cow to eat, right? Yeah. Now, I'm just throwing out, this is what's good about the conversation, is you don't need variety. You might choose it, but remember, a variety of diet might be part of our problem, because you're introducing other components of a diet that your gut is not used to. Now, I just threw up CB's comment here, eating fiber as a prebiotic to feed microbes. Why would you want to feed the microbes in your gut? Well, butyric acid is only fuel for colon cells. Does that make any sense? Like I thought every cell of your body gets blood from the heart, correct?
Well, first of all, butyric acid, very easily found. Look at your butter.
But it's fat.
And
that story that CB puts up there is a story that we've been taught.
Yeah.
Well, you're the cells, like Dr. Nelson, you didn't eat for 22 days. Your colon cells were starving? No. They all receive blood from adipose cells that provide every mineral, vitamin, building block of the cell. That's it. That's my craziness.
Yeah, we're overcomplicated.
We overcomplicate. We make we make all these cycles. All right. Does the Krebs cycle happen in isolation inside a cell?
No,
The
there's a
Krebs
bunch of
cycle,
things happening at the same time.
but these are petri dish laboratory scientific studies that don't take into account all the things happening in the human body in a cellular environment.
Right.
So I just question most of it, in my opinion. It's all, again, it sounds interesting, but
Yeah. I even go as far as to say, like, when you think about it, why are we sticking needles in our arms and then looking at arbitrary numbers and saying, right, that's no good and this is great? What about like the clinical presentation of an individual? How are they feeling? How are they sleeping well? Have they got good energy? Have they got brain fog? I remember this article I read about this woman who was like a skeptic when it came to the carnivore diet. She was a GP, a doctor, medical doctor. And she said, yeah, I keep seeing all these clients come to me, these patients, and they're saying they're on the carnivore diet. They've discovered the carnivore diet, they're losing weight, they're sleeping great, they've got tons of energy, mental clarity, etc. And then I look at their bloods and have to like shake them and say, no, what are you doing? Look at your cholesterol, it's really high. And I read that article thinking, like, she's just like so lost in the science, like, and the numbers. Like, she's literally seeing people present themselves with like health transformations that are beyond their wildest dreams, despite having tried everything prior to that, this diet, if you want to call it that. And yet she's just ignoring that and going straight to the numbers on the screen and saying, yeah, but it's not right because the numbers on the screen say that you're supposed to be unhealthy. It's like they've lost their mind. That just blew me away, that article. Do you know what I mean? You guys have seen that, I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, ultimately, no other animal organism looks for a blood test, and you get a blood test, and then you're scared. You're like, oh, I'm worried. But a friend of mine just had a heart attack yesterday, and they put a stent in him. Okay, well, I couldn't, and he just had major knee surgery a few months ago, and how come they didn't pick this up and prevent it? And what regular testing will prevent you from getting sick and dying? And carnivore has not been proven to extend your life. Has it?
The jury's still out, I suppose. Like,
Well, but
Schaefer
essentially,
thinks we're living to 130.
right. But ultimately, those bugs, infections are a major cause of disease, aren't they? And also, a lean meat diet or a cooked meat diet might be another culprit, right? That we just don't know yet. Or and odds are, Dr. Nelson, 2,000 years ago, were we living as long as we live today?
You're reading my mind, right? There is biblical evidence that 3,000 years ago, we lived the same amount of time we live today. Okay, if you want to be more specific, King David, in a report to God, it's telling God, we lived 70 years, the strongest of us lived 80. And King David lived around 3,000 years ago. What do we live today? Tell me that the life expectancy has changed. It hasn't changed in at least 3,000 years. So I'm more interested in living my best life while I'm alive than if I'm going to live one day longer. I have no idea. There is no one that can prove that they live longer in any way because there is no way of knowing when you would have died. But if I'm living my best life, my best quality of life, I can spend my days with my family feeling better. and I do feel better with this way of eating.
Yeah.
It's the very best. It reduces the toxins, and it's just. And I eat mostly rare to raw meat. By the way, black and blue is the very best. And I'll put up. I got to put up a video here. Let's see, Mike. What's this question? Dr. Kiltz, my friend's daughter's pregnant, and she just found out she's low on iron, and they gave her iron pills. Dr. Nelson, any thoughts on that? Should she eat liver, raw liver, fatty meat, bloody meat? Go carnivore.
Yeah, my first instinct would be, well, why is her iron low? Maybe that needs to be investigated. But
good.
Liver supplements. If you don't like eating liver, organ supplements, they have a good amount of iron. Just regular steak.
Yeah.
People are asking how much the steak is. Just go to Snake River Farms and look it up. It's not cheap. This will be a 3-day meal for Kiltz.
Dr. Kiltz, did you recently start eating raw? And what have the differences been since you went raw?
Oh, no, I don't eat I eat black and blue, rare to raw. I've been eating like this for a long time. I don't overcook. I mean, I literally show it the heat, cut it up and eat it.
Yeah.
And I'll dry age it and slice it up and just eat it like that, a little salt. I do some butter and blue cheese sometimes. I take the grease from the pan in a black and blue under the broiler, save that, pour it all over the steak. I think we overcook our meat. That's one of the leading causes of problems for carnivores. They don't eat the fat. We were at a carnivore meal the other day, and I looked at the plates, so many of the plates. I'm not Dr. Nelson for sure. Kiltz and Nelson nail the fat, but so many of the carnivores cut the fat off.
Really? Wow, that's my favorite bit.
It is the fat is the most important part of the animal to eat.
Yeah.
But it's rare to raw to be truly healthy. Otherwise, you render it and you denature it and damage it, which is kind of crazy concept. But, people say, well, like raw meat, how can you eat that? What other animal cooks their food? None.
None. I'm pressing the button. I'm pressing the button.
Hit it.
Who's winning his hat today? Who's winning? I mean, not the one that's on my head, but one that Pat is. Congratulations, Pat. Please email me, alia@drkiltz.com. Thank you so much. And I will get you your hat.
And Jonny, tell us a little bit about how people can find you at Jonny Does Carnivore.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is Jonny Does Carnivore. That's my only real social media presence. So there's only a few videos up there for now. There's one with Kent Carnivore, who I think you had on. That's actually how you discovered me.
That's right.
There's another chat I did with a lady who's, I think, coming on your channel as well. Cabana Chronicles, lady named Rebecca, who had MS.
Nice.
We had a good hour and a half long chat. And just the Coach Stephen videos. So there's not much on there for now, but I'm looking to grow it. So yeah, you can come find me there, subscribe, and I love chatting to people in the carnivore space. So I might have you on.
Great, thank you. Dr. Nelson, what do we have going on the rest of the day and the week?
Well, today the Kiltz Mighty Tribe Zoom call. It is Lauren.
Yep.
Right.
Lauren Knight Hughes. Yep.
Knight Hughes that we're gonna be talking to. So everybody that be there 5:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Nice. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you all. We'll see you guys tonight 5:30. And I appreciate everyone for being here. Jonny, you're amazing. Keep sharing the story. Keep digging deep. And more and more stories, because the Bible is more powerful than Scientific America all day long.
Absolutely.
God bless you, my brothers and sisters.
Bye, everybody.